Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well. It's been a while since I've done a video, and you may ask yourself, what video are you going to do today? Well, it's got me thinking, just random thought this morning showing off some of my favourite Blu-rays, what I own in my collection. So, without further ado, for 1978, it's Force 10 Guns of Navarone, with the cast of Franco Nero, Harrison Ford, Robert Shaw, Edward Fox, Carl Weathers, Barbara Bach and Richard Kiel, and this was brought out by Indicator. And with Indicator, get tons and tons of special features. Then from 1984 we have the first shoutout is for my good friend Jim Jam Movies and TV, which is James Millership. His all-time favourite film, and this was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, I do believe. It's got Deep Roy and Noah Hathaway, I do believe, but what an awesome film this is, and a great soundtrack by Lamal and Giorgio Moroder. Then we have for 1982, Fast Times at Ridgemont Heights is a brilliant comedy, adult comedy with Sean Penn, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates, Anthony Edwards, Nicolas Cage, Forrest Whitaker. But what a brilliant film this is, and a great early 1980s soundtrack. And then we have for 1988 Tim Burton's Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton. I think it's Gina Davis, Winona Ryder and Alec Baldwin. I think I said Michael Keaton, but what a great film. And of course recently, I think it was last year or the year before last, Beetlejuice, what came out. And for 1978, we have Death on the Nile with the late great Peter Ustonov's Hercule Poirot, I think. Betty Davis, Maggie Smith, Lois Chiles, who was in Moonraker, I do believe. I think it's David Niven. Included, plus also, I can't actually pronounce his name, I think it's Simon McCorndale. It was Manimal, and it was later in Casualty. So yeah, it's from the Studio Canal Vintage Collection. And a bit of a brilliant documentary, which is Cursed Films, which is behind the scenes stories of films what have been cursed, including the infamous Twilight Zone, the movie scene. If you know, you know what scene it is. But it's got The Exorcist, The Crow, Poltergeist. But really good documentary this is. And again at the back it's got contributions from the late great Richard Donner, etc. And of course, as Jurassic Park, I think it's Retaliation. But yeah, this is Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, which, yeah, it's Midlands Air Ambulance in Merry Hill, which is £2, which I do believe the Blu-rays are still £2, but it's got Chris Pratt. But what a great film this is. Nice slipcover as well. Then from 1988, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, directed by the great Robert Zemeckis. Plus also you've got Bob Hoskins and Christopher Lloyd. Then a bit of action from the 80s with old Sylvester Stallone, which is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Then some absolute classic 80s comedies with the Police Academy, including Mission to Moscow, which I think was a bit of a I've never seen, but you've got some absolute classic characters, including Michael Winslow, Steve Guttenberg, and I think his name was Bubba Smith. But what an awesome film this is. And a bit of John Carpenter, who directed Escape from New York with Kurt Russell, Adrian Barbeau, I think her name is, Lee Van Cleef, Donald Pleasance. But yeah, this came out the year I was born, in 1981. And one of my favourite Blu-rays, one of my favourite films of all time is The Elephant Man with John Hurt, Anthony Hopkins, Leslie Dunlop, Pauline Quirk, and Michael Elphick, to name a few actors. This is directed by David Lynch, which came out in 1980. And to coincide with Robert Zemeckis, of course, can't go on with Back to the Future, the trilogy, with, like I said, Christopher Lloyd, Michael J. Fox, to name others. But what a great three films. I've never seen three. I've definitely seen two, and of course the original Back to the Future. And of course, as Superman is coming back to the big screen, directed by James Gunn, this is the Zack Snyder version of Man of Steel with Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, and yes, still with the CEX price, which is £1 as well. And also Batman as well, another great box set, which is for 1989 to 1997, I do believe. Here's some of the images. But you've got Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, Jack Nicholson as the Joker, I believe, Danny DeVito as Penguin, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, but you've got the likes of Michael Keaton as Batman, George Clooney as Batman in 1997, Batman and Robin with Chris O'Donnell and Alicia Silverstone, I think her name was. Plus also you've got the late great Val Kilmer in Batman Forever. And a bit of classic 80s comedy, like in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, of course, with a beautiful slipcover. But this has got Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. That's Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure with a beautiful 4K restoration. And another film which I'm looking forward to, I'll probably get it on Blu-ray, but it's Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, Michael Ironside, and again Christopher Lloyd in a brilliant performance. Again, I'm looking forward to Nobody 2 when it will come out on Blu-ray. Then, of course, we've got Ghostbusters, directed by the late great Ivan Reitman, but you've got Rick Moranis, the late great Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Ann Potts, and Ernie Hudson. But what an awesome film these were. And again, a big shout out to Movie Timelines, who recently done like a mini review of this on his movie Timelines, the 80s project, which is the sci-fi project. And a classic Justice League, which is a Zack Snyder, which is runtime is 242 minutes, but you've got Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and of course Ben Affleck as Batman, I believe. I think his name was Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg. And a bit of music. I do like my heavy metal music, and this is one of the longest bands who's still going strong, which is the mighty Judas Priest in Wacken, I think, or Wacken. But some awesome songs, and Rob Halford's on great form on his set. But you got the likes of Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight, Painkiller, Electric Eye, Stroke the Hellion, Hellbent for Leather, and Turbo Lover, and Metal Gods, and lots more classic Judas Priest. And then we have a bit of Kurt Russell for 1982. I know I'm going to get ridiculed. I still have not watched this. I may watch it around October but it's John Carpenter's The Thing. Which again, big shout out to Big Paulie. I think he likes this label, which is Wow Films. And to coincide with Superman, can't go wrong with a bit of Christopher Reeve, which is Superman 1, 2, 4, which I actually did watch A Quest for Peace, and yes, it's not the greatest film in the world, but you've got Brandon Routh, which is Superman Returns, which I think's directed by Bryan Singer, I think his name was. But yeah, you've got Superman the movie with the late great Gene Hackman, and Superman 3 with Richard Pryor. But yes, special features as well, which has got George Reeves in his only Superman TV shows. I think his first ever Superman appearance. Then we have Time Bandits, which is directed by Terry Gilliam, but it's got Shelley Duvall, Sean Connery, John Cleese, I think Michael Palin, I think appears. But yeah, it's from 1981. It's Time Bandits, which is a brilliant film. Again, out by Arrow. But I think this recently got a 4K from Arrow, but I'm not 100% sure. Sorry about that. And a bit of classic Marvel superheroes, which of course can't go wrong with the classic Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, and a brief cameo at the end of Superman 2 with Hugh Jackman. But again, not a bit of spot loss. But both of the Deadpool films are brilliant. It's got the super duper cut and of course the original Deadpool. Speaking of lenticular, can't go on with a bit of Batman vs Superman. I know a lot of people are not big fans of this film. I personally think this is an awesome film, but it's, opinions are different. But what a great lenticular of Batman vs Superman. Like I said, Gal Gadot, Jesse Eisenberg, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill. I remember getting this one as well from CEX. And a bit of Jerry Anderson, which is Thunderbird 6, the movie, with the voice casting of Sylvia Anderson, of course, who plays Lady Penelope. Shane Rimmer, the late great, who portrays Scott Tracy. And the late great David Graham, who voices my two favourite Thunderbird characters in this, which is Parker and Brains, Mr. Tracy. And an absolute classic superhero for me, yes. Yes, the price is a pound, but what an awesome cast and an awesome film. Morgan Freeman, Christian Bale as Batman, the late great Heath Ledger as the Joker, and to quote Kermit, yes, sir, yes, he is a Sir, and it's Sir Michael Caine. But what an awesome film this is. And you got Aaron Eckhart, I think his name is, as well. So yeah, awesome film. And again, big shout out to old Jim Jam Movies and TV. I know he loves this label. Of course, it is Network. This is Stand By for Action, which is Jerry Anderson in concert, which is from Twizzle, which is, I think, 1954. I'm going to say to the new Captain Scarlet. Plus, also, we've got UFO, Space 1999, Terrorhawks, Thunderbirds. But the talking part is actually by an awesome impressionist, which is John Culshaw, I believe. But what a great concert. If you like your Jerry Anderson, I highly recommend this. And at the time, I believe this cost $15.99, which I got at the time for my birthday. And the last one is, I'm a computer game fan myself, and I love these games, which is Uncharted. But you've got Antonio Banderas, Mark Wahlberg, and Tom Holland. So yeah, that's some of my favourite Blu-rays. What I would recommend anyone getting. So before I go, I'm going to do a big Q&A video for my 130 subscribers. You can ask me anything, WWE, film, TV, computer games related. So if you have any great questions, please leave in the comments and I will try my best to answer. I'll probably do it maybe in 2 months or a month time. But yeah, don't forget to like, please, share and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I'm always humble now for my 130 subscribers. So thank you for watching the channel, and subscribing means a lot. So yeah. So before I go, thank you, and have a great day wherever you are in the world. And there will be some more videos, I can guarantee you that. So thank you for watching the channel, and goodbye, folks. Goodbye.